Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome today to the review of a budget dive legend, the Casio MDV-106, aka the Duro. Now I included this one in a top 5 roundup video that I did a number of months ago, sight unseen. Its reputation is that good, but I wanted to get a hold of one, see how good they really are for myself. This one on Amazon at the moment, link in the description, for the frankly ridiculous sum of $42 for a big, handsome dive watch with 200 meters water resistance and a screw down crown. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's get into it. Okay, so there's already plenty of pre-existing content about this watch on YouTube, and it's a quartz piece, so I'm not going to be here all day. What I thought I'd do was I'd start with some dimensions and specifications. I get a few decent close-ups of the watch. There's some really nice details actually if you look closely enough. Then a lume shot, wrist shot, and then I'll get it off the original rubber strap. Now look, it's okay, it's relatively comfortable on the wrist, but it extends beyond the lugs. I think it makes the watch look a little bit thicker, a little bit less attractive than it should be. This is one that I bought for literally $1 Australian on eBay, and they're pretty much the same thing. So it's clear that most of the money has gone into the watch itself. Not a bad thing. What I'll do is I'll do a little fashion show. I've got a sailcloth and a couple of NATOs from Monkey Swag, and I've got an Uncle Seiko waffle for a little bit of a retro look as well. I'll zip through these at the end, give you an idea of what it's like. If you want to spend a bit of money on this piece, put it on an alternative strap. But you notice I've kept the tone very, very simple. It's a really clean, very legible design, this Duro. I've kept that black, silver and white aesthetic with my strap choices. Well, you get a fair amount of watch for $45. 44 millimeters in diameter, 48.5 mil on the lugs. This one's 12.5 millimeters thick, which is, you know, quite thick considering it's a quartz piece. 22 millimeter lug width, and weighing in on this original acrylic-y rubber strap, 93 grams. So, you know, not inconsiderable on the wrist in terms of its size, but it actually wears quite well, as you'll see later on. So 316L stainless steel case and crown, and it's got a dead flat mineral crystal. Now I picked this one up second hand. It's in pretty good shape, but there's a couple of little scuffs on the crystal, as you'll see when I do a close-up, so just something worth considering. You're not really going to get sapphire at anything like this price point though. You're looking at $100 if you want something with this set of specifications and sapphire crystal. We have a 120 click unidirectional rotating peso, which I have to say is very, very nice. The action is really good. There's a little backward play, but nothing untoward really. Certainly shames watches that I've seen several times this price. Basic 3-hand plus date Japanese quartz module. This one is the 2784, obviously by Casio. Flip it over, give you a look at the case back, and you know, as I mentioned, some really nice little details. This one is etched. There's a little Marlin logo there above the Casio, water resistant to 200 meters, and Japanese movement advertised there. All very nice indeed, and again, much better than you'd expect for 45 bucks. And it has a proper screw down crown to allow it to achieve that 200 meters water resistance. One pop of the crown to adjust the date there, and the second pop of the crown obviously hacks the movement and adjusts the second and hour hands. So we'll zoom in for a close-up and you can begin to see some of the nice little details on this watch. So the chapter ring there features a minute track, nice bit of depth, very, very nice. The whole thing is such a simple, clean design. If you've had a look at any of Casio's digital watches, particularly their cheaper G-Shocks, they love sticking labels, advertising features everywhere, and thankfully they haven't done that with this model at all. Just the Casio under the 12, little picture of the Marlin WR 200 meters above the 6, and Japan movement above the 6 as well. Now this dial's got a sunburst effect. There's a little bit of warping at the end, it's not consistent. I would say this dial was pressed rather than applied or painted. Looks like they've kind of punched those indices up from the back. There's a bit of deformation around there. It's not a criticism, it's just me trying to work out how they've made the dial, but there's a little bit of depth to those indices nonetheless, certainly nicer than if they had just used a painted dial. Look at the handset, look at that nice bevel in the middle. There's some real texture to those hands, and on the hour hand, It's not just all the one piece, they've got a little metal bar running across at the halfway point. Very, very attractive. Even managed to put a little printed date window around the date at 3 o'clock there. And close up, this aluminium bezel insert looks pretty good. As I said, very much in keeping with watches I've seen at much higher price tags. And if we have a little zoom in on the case finishing, you can see we've got a polish side there, but we've got a bit of brushing on the lugs. Remarkable that they've managed to do a couple of different finishes at this price point. Now the strap, as mentioned, is nothing spectacular. Looks okay, reasonable texture to it. Plain, unsigned tang though. They have managed to put stainless steel china on the back of the tang, but nothing on the front. I reckon it's pretty durable though. They've even managed to include some double flange spring bars, so it's easy to replace this, as I'm going to do in just a minute. So Lume shot, yeah, not so bad. You know, if you are a serious diver, you probably aren't wearing a $45 watch anyway, but perfectly acceptable for a bit of a beta watch. Reasonably consistent across the hour markers and the hands. Even a nice little Lume pip on the end of the second hand too. And there it is, sitting on top of my 7-inch wrist. 44 is just about my upper max, but this one actually wears quite nicely. A little bit of curvature in the lugs and not a huge amount of weight from the body of the watch as well. So pretty good. As I said, that strap, the original band, is reasonably comfortable. Should be pretty durable also. But I think this watch looks so much better if you pop it on a different strap. Such as this one. How much better does that look? Now this is a £30 sailcloth strap from Monkey Swag, so you're probably not going to be nearly doubling the cost of the watch with a strap, but I think getting rid of those lug overhangs, bringing the watch down a little bit really suits it. Looks a lot more expensive than it is generally, this one. Or if you prefer NATO, I recommend keeping it clean with a fairly plain one. This nice all black stealthy look with matching black hardware. Looks pretty good on the two-tone bond as well. Again, keeping it nice and legible, nice, clean. Definitely looking pretty classy on this one. Or if you like the retro look and don't mind buying a $40 strap for your $45 watch, you can pop it on one of these waffles by Uncle Seiko. So the Casio Duro then, definitely a winner for $45. Really nice, clean, simple design, some good touches, nice mixture of finishes, love the textures in the dial, and that chapter ring really adds a little bit of class, as do those hands, and it's not trying to be something that it isn't. It's not trying to look like yet another Rolex Submariner homage. So there you have it, a handsome big watch, not a lot of downsides to this one really. Change that strap and I think you're onto a winner. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.